ranking every single team in the Championship based on how good their fans are. This is the 2023-24 season. We've got awful, bad, decent, good, very good, and wow. So yeah, what are my credentials to do this? At the end of the day, it is an opinion, but I've seen every single one of these teams at the Sol without fail. It's been a long time since I've seen the likes of Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton, but I have seen them at the Sol, and I've been to many of these away from home. So yeah, that's basically it. But it is an opinion. Someone does have to come last, sadly. That's how the world works, so don't cry if you're in the awful or bad category. It's just an opinion at the end of the day. But make sure to subscribe and all that good stuff. I've got some good content coming out in the next few days. I want to start doing some like football stories and stuff, so we'll get into that. But basically, let's get into this malarkey and hopefully you enjoy. I'm looking over here, by the way. Don't think I'm looking away from you. But Birmingham, good or very good. St Andrews is a very good place to go to, as in their fans are very loud. But when they came to Sol, I was slightly impressed. I wasn't too impressed. I'd say a bit louder than the rest of the teams. I'm leaning towards very good, but we'll go good for now. It can change. Now Blackburn, their fans haven't really, they've dwindled in size since they won the Premier League title. It's obviously expected, but yeah, the fact that their stadium is so huge doesn't really help because they don't fill it out anywhere near. So home support is probably awful, but away from home the loyal fans are very good. That's what you really see with these teams. I'm going to go with bad. I don't think they'll be annoyed at that. They understand they don't have the best of fans. Bristol City, when we went to Bristol City, I think I went there in the first few days of the season, first few games of the season, and they were good, but then again, you know, you're optimistic at the start of the season. It was also the summer, so everyone was cheery. Not that we can use that against them, but I'm going to go with decent. Away from home, I'm not really too sure, but then again, Bristol is miles away from Sunderland, so I'll let them off. But yeah, moving on to Cardiff. I think Cardiff have phenomenal fans. They don't really travel in numbers, especially when you're coming up to Sunderland, but what do you really expect from a team that's in literally another country? So we'll put them in decent again. I think people really overhate Swansea and Cardiff and the fans. I think they are quite good fans, but I haven't witnessed the home atmosphere yet. Coventry, I really want to put them in like awful, but they are very good. To be fair to them, when they come to Sol, it's always rocking. I've only seen them once at the Sol, actually. No, maybe twice. I think I've seen them twice at the Sol, but yeah, I've never actually been to the Coventry Building Society Arena, which is the worst name in the world. But yeah, obviously at Wembley they look phenomenal as well. Maybe even leaning in the wow category, but I think that's for a reserve for a few teams. Southampton, I think they get a lot of hate in the Premier League. They weren't exactly the greatest of fans, but I think your best fans come out when you're in the Championship because you get a lot of tourists and stuff in the Prem. But yeah, I've seen Southampton a few times at the Sol. They're nothing to shout about, but they're definitely not awful, so we'll go with decent. I think maybe the lower end of decent for Southampton. But yeah, Derby days and stuff, them lot are wow, to be fair. Like Pompey versus Southampton, both sets of fans going at it, it's phenomenal. Now Huddersfield, I used to think had unbelievable fans, like the little ultra section, but I've matured and I've realised they're not actually that good. So we're going to go with, I don't know whether bad or decent. We'll go with decent. They don't exactly travel in numbers, but I think, you know, that little section behind the goal with the flags, although I don't really rate it as much as I used to, it's still something to shout about, so we'll give them that. Hull, on the other hand, I think get very overhated. I'm going in good. Hull, for me, have phenomenal fans. I haven't seen them in a while. Obviously, I've seen them at the Sol, and they were decent. They didn't bring too many numbers, but they were actually quite loud. I think they get a lot of stick because, you know, mauled by the Tigers is one of the chants, and to be honest, that's deserved stick. But at Wembley, it was ages ago when they were at Wembley, but they were very good. I think they're a decent set of fans, well, a good set of fans. Ipswich, though, I think they could go in the wow category. I am going to go in the very good category, but that last game of the season where they got, well, I think it was the second last game of the season last year where they got promoted and it was a sellout. You'd expect that, but it looked absolutely bouncing. So for that reason, they're going in very good. But yeah, obviously when they came to Sol, not last year but the year before, they were unbelievable, very loud fans, so I've got to give it to them. And it's always, Portman Road is always bouncing. Leeds, wow, to be fair, I haven't seen them in a while. Obviously I haven't been in the Prem in a while, we kind of missed out on each other in certain leagues, but I have seen them before, maybe once once at the Sol, maybe twice, I'm not really too sure. But word of mouth, Leeds are obviously up there, but I don't think I've had the pleasure of fully enjoying their fans. So hopefully this year they can put on a bit of a good showcase, but it's obviously got to go in well. Leicester, on the other hand, I don't rate Leicester's fans at all. For me, I don't know, it's something about it. Away fans, maybe they're good. I don't really remember them too well. Home fans, the clappers and all that stuff, I think it's quite a silent place to go. But yeah, maybe I'm being a bit harsh here. I think maybe they're definitely above Blackburn, but are they as good as like Southampton, Cardiff and Bristol? I'm not sure. I might have to change it later. We'll see. And Sunderland, obviously the best fans in the league. No, maybe not this year. Maybe Leeds top us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but I think top 2 fans is definitely fair for Sunderland. I think we're definitely in the wow category. I mean, there's not really too much to say. Obviously, I'm being biased here, but I think people will agree. But yeah, we'll move on to Middlesbrough, who are also going in the wow category. So last year I went to the Riverside, obviously a little bit of a derby. I wouldn't really class it as a derby, but it's a hated game nonetheless, and their fans were exceptional, absolutely bouncing, and I can't really hate on them, if you will. And they took like 10,000 to United, so they're a really good set of fans. I'd say we're definitely better, but they're close, to be fair. Norwich, it's a shame Ipswich carry that derby a little bit when it comes to fans, but Norwich aren't, no, they're bad, they're pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie to you, they're not great. And there we go, we've got Plymouth, who are also in the wow category. Plymouth, for me, unbelievable fans, because you've got to understand, Plymouth, a little bit of a small club. They won't really mind admitting that they are a little bit of a small club, but their fans are mental, unbelievable. When they came to the Sol, and I keep saying this, absolutely unbelievable. The best fans that year, bearing in mind we had the likes of Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich, Pompey come to the Sol. Actually, to be fair, Sheffield Wednesday probably is good, but Plymouth, unbelievable, like absolutely bouncing. When they scored a goal, I actually looked up for once. I never usually look up because I'm like I can't really hear them, I've sit really far away. I absolutely heard it, it was deafening. So for me, some of the best fans in this league, and if they went into the Prem, they'd still have some of the best fans in the league. I think criminally underrated, Plymouth. So you know what, 3rd best fans in this league. Moving on to Preston, I think they have decent fans, maybe even leaning towards the good category. I don't know, I haven't really seen a lot from Preston. I've never been to Deepdale. I want to go. Obviously they came to Sol, but I don't really remember much. You know what, no, I do remember something. And they are going in the decent category, but it is leaning towards bad. They took so many numbers. We're talking like 3,000, and then it was a 0-0 draw and they were quite loud. But then a week later, Blackpool brought like 500 fans and they were 10 times louder than Preston. So for that reason, they're going in decent. So Blackpool have better fans than Preston. Preston travel in more numbers, but Blackpool are louder. So there you go for that little derby. There's me insight. We'll go on to QPR, who, to be honest, are probably awful. I love QPR, they're a great club, but the fans are absolutely dreadful. I have never seen anything like it. We beat them 4-0, 3-0 was it? We battered them, and the fans, it was empty. Like, I understand leaving early. I think our stadium, like, a few people leave, and we get gypped for it, but I've never seen a stadium that empty. I think there was about, I could probably count on one hand, 150 people left. It wasn't great. Rotherham, on the other hand, away fans aren't actually horrific. Home fans, not the greatest. I think I have to put them in awful. But you know what? I think they're better than QPR. For me, they're not that bad, but they kind of are. I don't know. I'm leaning towards awful and bad. Let me know what you think. Sorry, Rotherham fans. I don't hate yous, but yous are a small club. I can't really expect it to have the best of fans, but I think awful, yeah. I'm sorry, it has to be said. Sheffield Wednesday, wow. Like, genuinely, they have... I think, personally, Plymouth a little bit better, but it's magical when you see Sheffield Wednesday. Their fans are unbelievable. At Wembley, phenomenal. First leg of the playoffs, they wouldn't shut up, but obviously we wouldn't either. We beat them 5-0 at home, or was it 4-0, in League One 2 years ago. And they were absolutely rocking. I've never seen anything like it. Like, jumping up and down when you're losing 4-0. That, for me, is a true fan base. So they have to go in that wow tier. Stoke City. Now, Stoke City are credited with being the loudest football fans. And to be honest, I haven't seen much of it. I only seen them at home. I was about to get tickets for the Bet365 Stadium, Stoke away, but I didn't end up getting tickets. So I don't know. I'm gonna put them in. I'm gonna put them in good because they are credited as being very loud. When they came to Sol, I remember them being decent. I just don't remember too much from it. So that's not really their fault. I'm sure they have. You know what? No, going in decent because I can't say that they're good because I don't have too much information on Stoke City. Now Swansea are worse than Cardiff, but they're not awful. They aren't great. I'd say they're definitely on the same level as your Leicester, your Blackburn and your Norwich. For me, Cardiff have better fans. Now, does that mean I prefer Cardiff? Not really. I don't really have a decision on that one. But for me, Swansea have worse fans. Now, Millwall get a lot of credit for having these unbelievable fans. I have not once ever seen that. No, I don't agree with it. I'm gonna go with bad. For me, I just don't see where this like myth comes from. When we went to the Den, not that I wasn't there, everyone was saying they're not good. They're all right. And then when they came to Sol, I didn't hear a peep from them, and they didn't travel in numbers. I cannot, hand on heart, put them any higher than bad when I've seen like some of the worst fans from them. But this reputation carries them, I think, a little bit. Now Watford have awful fans. Watford have really bad fans. Now I thought when they came down last year in the Championship, I just expected them to be good because I thought, well, Burnley weren't the best in the Prem fans wise, but they came in the Championship and they were phenomenal because, like I said, that's where the loyal fans are. But for some reason Watford have just carried that horrific fan base on, and they just haven't got any better. They do sell out Vicarage Road quite a lot, and they do have a big number of fans, and I think quite loyal fans, but they're not loud, they don't chant, and they don't really travel in numbers, if you will. So for me, it's going in the awful category. Sorry Watford fans, I don't even hate your club, I actually quite like yours, but it's true. Now West Brom, I'm leaning towards good and very good. I'm going to put them in good for now. Well, I see for now this is the final list. I can't be bothered moving it about. But I'll give me reason and went the Hawthorns. It was a playoff charge, so you've got to take that into account. But they were rocking for the first 20 minutes. And then obviously they stopped chanting. But that's usually what you expect at a home ground. I've never really seen it where it's fully bouncing throughout apart from Middlesbrough. And our stadium sometimes, but our home fans was sometimes not the best. But yeah, West Brom for me, they were exceptionally loud, but it was only 20 minutes, so I'm going to put them in the good category, and when they came here they weren't too bad either. So right, anyway, that's the video. That's the list all there. Let me know if you disagree with any of these. I'm sure someone will. Well, I can almost guarantee you will. But yeah, let me know what club you support. Let me know where you would put certain clubs. And just make sure to subscribe and like this video. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic day.